Is it recording as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we'll continue on. We're going to start off basic. So continuing with our new grip set. So we're going to be going for a cross sleeve. We can take this in two ways. One, I attack normally, kicks it up. I miss my first grip option, so I switch to the second. Or I'm applying it as a point of control from the bottom defense, sort of where we started off before, and then we attack. Okay. So first, we're going to initiate with what we're already used to with our near side grip, and then the partner's going to break that grip off, and then we're going to adjust into our first sweep by switching our hand, and then we're going to apply it again, but off of again our own volition. So I have Ian in my Del Riva. So control point again, Del Riva grip, ankle grip. He has his hands on my legs. So again, this is our easiest to get grip. So kicks it up, dropping the foot, hugging the leg. I try and pass the sleeve over, but he rips away before I can initiate, or again, he smacks my hand, whatever. So I end up engaging with this sleeve instead. So I sit up here, he rips away, and I quickly pass this hand over. Okay, now ideally, I get that same handcuff grip we talked about, cuffing it over like so. Okay, but when you're doing this on the fly and fast, we're just going to punch it across, and I'm going to clamp grip. So a lot of the power of this grip comes into pinning his arm against his own knee, but most of it is that it's very awkward for him to try and like chop where the grip is weak and go this way, right? It's kind of a weird motion for his arm. So most guys try and pull, but because he's pulling straight up, his fist kind of gets stuck. It's like, you know, grabbing the pickles in the pickle jar or cookies in the cookie jar and you get your hand stuck, okay? So once I get that, we're going to go for the fast attack. I'm going to chuck my leg over towards my other leg, pinching my knee, which is very key, and I'm going to scoop under his leg or grab like so. No gi, obviously it's going to be scoop. Gi, we're going to grab a punch grip, and that way I can force him over. Okay, now the way that the sweep works is momentum based. So as I fall to my back, I'm bearing my head in front of his foot as I pick up the grip. That forces him to roll on top of me, and again, I'm pinching my knee so I don't sack myself on the way through. And as I rotate and twist my knees, I continue to punch up and over with the grip until I can get all the way on top and complete my sweep. Okay, so again, key thing, pinch those knees. Trust me. Kicks it up. Hug, I go for this, he rips it away, so I just quickly snap and grab. Wind up, but this is the biggest mistake. People do this. They go either head here like this, way up high, they never fall, or they try and they put themselves all the way underneath the person. Again, I fall in front of him, and then I rotate and roll him over me. Again, twist and grab, punch over, and then just solidify on top. I go into his side, he does it, okay? Another time. The last time. More full speed. Boom. Yeah, boom. Easy version. Okay? Let's start with that, guys. 1, 2. Visible. Yes. Back to the middle. So we're going to do the same sweep. We're going to add a detail. We're going to talk about being on the bottom here quickly. It's already recording. Okay. So now I am deliberately going for this grip. So I play this grip. I just like the flow and the natural kind of sequencing that comes off of here, which is why I always start with it, and also it's easiest to grab. George, he always cross grips. Now, main reason for this isn't necessarily for his sweeps, it's more defense. When you cross his arm over, whether it's closed guard or an open guard, it's awkward, okay? And what he focuses in on isn't so much getting the grip and then using it for the sweep, it's almost entirely just to annoy you. So he keeps your hand floated. You try and grab a lapel, he'll just do everything he can to stop you. If you can't establish a grip on the knee or on the gi, like how are you gonna pass? You can't pull away because you can't turn your shoulder, and you can't, again, even get rid of the first control point, which is the De La Riva hook itself, okay? So very, very good idea to get this and then just dominate the sleeve. You can pocket it, right? And that way you just keep everything nice and tight. It's probably a little bit less taxing. And again, you can see I get a lot of posture control with this grip too. Okay? So, again, keep the hand off of you as best you can, or again, just stop him from getting any deliberate grips. Okay? So So kicks it up just like before. Boom and boom. I passed the sleeve, but because I started with the grip, it should be a lot easier to force it over and maintain the grip. But again, if you clamp it again, fine. Now what I'm going to do is a quick butt scoop, tuck back, rotate in. This is going to completely change the feeling of this sweep. You don't need to pinch your knees as much anymore, and there's no chance of a sackage, okay? So, same application. I bury myself, I look over my shoulder, and you notice here, this is a butterfly hook. I'm not just flat foot where I'm gonna lose control. I'm able to put his knee into my chest and keep, again, my groin safe. Same exact motion, I rotate, look over my shoulder, but then I have the addition of the little kick to make him fall and get a little more pop in the sweep. Very similar to what we did with the other position. So one more time. Cross grip this time, we're gonna dominate. Just play from here for a little bit. Give each other 10 seconds control like always, and just see what it's like for the guy on top annoying himself. Kicks it up and then pass the grip. Now fall forward to rotate your foot in, or again, you're gonna have to do a quick butt scoop. And then, again, we're not using this here, and if he steps towards me to try and do something, he just put himself into the sweep. So no big deal. We don't care about blocking the thigh at this point. It works with our grip. Okay, so we're trying to otherwise you guys can see. Again, cross grip, dominate. Okay, don't let him. Don't let him. You can always put a foot up, etc. Okay, kicks it up, in, hand to the mat, in. If he steps, thank you. If he stays still, I go get him. Okay, let's go. 1, 2. Back to the center. All right, so before we move over anything else overly specific, the single leg, pretty much you can do it at any point. It's one of your basic options. So again, cross grip, control, dominate the sleeve, kicks it up. I'm not going to try and like do too much with the sleeve in this one. Really what makes the single leg off of this a good option comes back to what I was just talking about, maintaining control of this arm so he can't use it. So if he's not in any position to really stop me from attacking, then I can just freely sit up. So kicks it up and then just go. Okay, and again, not up but through. So that's just another option. Okay, it's always there. Any of these options, any grip set, just kick and tackle. Okay. So the next one is a little more advanced. Not everybody is going to be able to do this. Okay, take some core tension. For me personally, this isn't the best day to try this, but we'll see. You have a shower close by, right? So, cross grip, dominate this sleeve. I'm going to pull hard. Now, do I want to kick? Maybe, sort of. I don't want him too overextended because if I kick too far, yes, it brings this back leg more into plane for taking his back. But ultimately, I end up having to overdo my stretch a lot more and I lose this platform that I use to elevate my hips. So if he comes back, I would just suggest your extension, the push, is part of the entrance. So instead of it being a kick and then go, it's going to be kick and go. So you notice, again, I'm balancing on my shoulder line. So it takes a little bit of core strength, okay? You can't be flopping here and trying to stick your leg through. Really arch your back and hold yourself. So I push, I elevate my hip, and then I dive my leg through and look behind. So it's like I'm planking or whatever the thing from 10 years ago. Okay? Now, once I get into this position, it's very difficult for him to deal with, especially with this cross grip. You can't really turn back. And then now what I'm going to do is spring back. So think about those, even going back even further in the years, you know those like things that you get at the fair? You'd smack your wrist and it'd like curl around. Watches. So rigid is what was it?
There's watches like that.
Watches like that too? Oh, so cool. So you want to have that same snap. So control, kick, arch, lock in, and then now I snap my head behind. And then from here, same finishing. Look for the butt, look for the other leg, and get behind him as quickly as you can with your butterfly hooks. And then from here, direct him away, hooks and seat up. Your angle. Good for you guys. So again, dominate, extend and feed. So I'm looking down towards the mat, and again, chest completely sideways. If I'm looking up at all, this is where you're going to start to be like, ooh, what about your knee, your LCL, etc. Again, your knee should naturally bend like that, and you should be able to protect yourself. But if I'm here, I'm with the natural extension of my leg, and if he overpowers it for whatever reason, it's going with the natural bend of my leg. So again, in, push, snap behind, get that, seatbelt, same finish. Okay? Takes a bit of practice to do this, but the big thing is just full commitment. If you try and be lazy at all, it doesn't work. Okay? This is way more powerful than the typical sit-up baby bolo, which is why we want to use it, but at the same time, we got to get comfortable first. And again, physically capable of being rigid like that. Okay? Good luck. 1, 2. Time is an important detail. So if you imagine the step on the thigh here as the wall, you have to elevate your butt or your leg above the knee line first. So this is, again, that thigh grip, your De La Riva hook. So think the first thing that you're doing is arching your back. And then, I was exaggerating it, but it does help. Kick out, and then you thread through. Okay, so you notice, like, I want to be as high with my legs as I can. If I try and stick my leg through and keep my hip down and then try and lift, like, it's not going to happen. So again, elevate and then twist through. Okay, far from the wall. Again. So this is a common entrance for this baby bolo as well, because it does lead to the barren bolo. If a lot of people aren't ready for it, they do fall. Okay, and I saw a couple people collapsing. So I always, guys, knees strong, feet strong, hips strong, etc. So again, don't do this. It's not gonna work. And I kicked him in the nuts probably. Okay? So again, hips up, get above this knee line, and then thread. Okay? And then when you do this, again, with the tension here, if he collapses, if he falls down, this is the perfect opportunity for a bulge. Okay? It protects both people's knee lines as well. And up, thread. Okay, and then both legs rigid, and then snap your shoulders behind. This grip is the first to bail. Butterfly hook. Far leg, square, elevate, back take. Okay? If you're not comfortable with the barren bolo, which we will eventually get to with this series, if he sits down again, just remember, guys, always protect yourself. Boom, if he falls down, like, you can always just shove your way on top to mount. Okay? Give it another try. 1, 2.